Colorado Harvest Company.
Hey guys, this is Allie Greenstone from Mary's Medicinals. I'm here with Chad Drew. This is PotTalk on World Viral TV.
Yeah.
All right, Music Buzz Live. We're back here in Studio A. It is PotTalk. My name's Moose. We got Chad Drew. We got CT, Chad H, and now we have Graham all the way from Mary's Medicinals.
What up?
Thank you guys so much for having me on. Always fun to be here.
I honestly, I know it's been a while since you've been here, but it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I try and keep up with you guys as much as I can, but, you know, it's been forever.
Yeah.
It's good to have you around again, my friend.
For sure, for sure. So, you know, we always got some cool new stuff going on. We always love to come down here and talk to you guys about what we're up to.
So let's get the word on what's going on. What's new?
So, I mean, latest thing is we just launched in Illinois this week. I actually got to update the website as soon as I get out of here with about 25 new dispensaries in Illinois, and that's our 7th state. So we're really excited about that.
Dude,
and then a couple of new products.
That's huge.
But that's all medical, right?
Illinois is all medical right now.
Yeah, okay.
What other states are you recreational? Just
recreational, just Colorado, Washington, and Oregon right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Okay. That's what I
Alaska's still a little tricky, hoping to get up there soon, but they're kind of still figuring out some of the details up there of what's going to be the best approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose approach do you think is the best so far? I know you're immersed in it all over, so.
Colorado.
Yeah.
I like some of the things Oregon's done. I mean, initially, after they legalized, they said, we're going to, roll out the rec market at this point. And then the governor just said, you know what, screw it. Medical shops, just sell to anyone who's over 21. It's fine. That's the kind of thing I'd like to see in other states. That's a very pragmatic approach.
Yeah. One way to go. We actually have a huge initiative that's going to be voted on this November, which is going to be kind of groundbreaking for Colorado, which is the social use act. I can't remember, but I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically where can you go out socially if you're out of state, or if you're in state, you're over 21, where can we just go around and smoke together?
And it's so needed. I can't wait because I come here from out of town and I stay in a hotel, and technically I can't smoke there. So unless I'm, visiting with a friend or you guys or something, I'm technically not allowed to consume.
Totally. So I think that it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. This approach that they're doing is actually pretty. I like the fact that it can actually fizzle away in 4 years if it's not re-upped, basically by our Congress or our state representatives and stuff. Good way to go.
Seems like a smart way to do it. Give yourselves an option and test it out. And I mean, that's really what we're doing across the industry. We got to see what approaches work, what makes sense, what doesn't, and we modify and go from there.
Hell yeah! And 7 states, dude. That's big for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a big November. Now, is there still that thing on the ballot to cap the percentage of THC?
No, dude, that
fell off? Okay, good. I think we all kind of
that.
saw that happening.
But speaking of the social club thing, if you remember last year at this time, they were trying to get the ability to be on the ballot to be voted at this time last year, and they took themselves off because they didn't have enough research as far as how to do it. So the same thing, in my eyes, could very well happen to the limiting the THC content because it was introduced before, and if there's enough of a groundswell on the other side against it, then it could definitely be reintroduced maybe next year or the following.
I'd like to think that was just a small group of prohibitionists who are trying to flail around and make some pain for everybody. I think that's dying off.
I'm glad that Colorado's going the way that it is. It's nice to hear someone that deals with a bunch of different states already, and on the front lines of that, say that Colorado's doing it the right way. I think that the nation's looking at us, the world's looking at us right here, so we need to make sure we're doing it.
Yeah, and there is no right way yet. I mean, we're pioneers right now. We're figuring it out. We're seeing what makes sense, and there's things that don't go right. We got to figure out and change it. But that's our job.
And that's one of the things I love about Mary's. I know that this is a bit of a transition, but you have new products, and you guys are always testing the market with the shit that's going to work or that's not. What the consumer wants, what's not. Thinking outside the box when it comes to how you can actually get the right medicine to you.
Absolutely, and that's great having, all these markets being headquartered here in Denver. We can roll out new products, see how the market reacts, and then if it's positive, we roll it out in other states, kind of go from there.
Yeah.
You got like a testing ground.
This is one of their tests. This is a test of their new one.
What is this now?
It just got launched.
A couple of weeks ago. So that's our newest product introduction. It's called Burnout Topical Mist. So this one actually
mist.
It totally is.
Yeah, so our hemp farmer, David Bonvillain with Elite Botanicals, actually came up with this idea and this formulation because he's had some issues with skin cancer, and a lot of us that are more pale just get sunburnt a lot. So this is actually designed to counteract sunburn and help your body heal from that. So
And it
loaded
gets
with
you high,
CBD.
too?
No, there's no psychotropic effects with lotions. That's one of the unknown factors in regards to cannabis. Something like a topical is not going to get you that psychotropic effect, and that's one of the reasons why they're not really limiting that in the upcoming changes in October 1st, because there isn't that psychotropic effect to it. But something like this, especially in our community with all of the skiers that come back with their, sunburnt faces and stuff like that, it's got aloe and everything in it.
Yeah, so he formulated aloe melaleuca, which is tea tree oil, chamomile, just loaded with natural plant extracts. And then, of course, the really good plant extract, CBD, and a little bit of THC. So we're making two versions of it. We launched it first through Mary's Nutritionals, our CBD line. So that version I gave you is just CBD.
Right.
Then we'll have one rolling out to dispensaries in Colorado over the next month with a little bit of THC in it as well.
Smells good.
It makes it work a little bit better.
Yep. I mean, in my opinion, if you can add some THC to the mix, it's usually going to help things along a bit.
Right.
Do you have a lot of people that talk about using multiple patches? Because I love having like 3 or 4 patches on.
It's really a tolerance thing. I mean, for some folks, one is too much. I mean, we have people that cut them into tenths. Some of the little kids that are using them for epilepsy, there's people using a tenth of a patch and just keep on a tenth of THCA all the time, and that works for them. But yeah, higher tolerance folks like us, I've put on a few patches at a time. Done some R&D where there were, some large strips that go all the way up your arm.
Right?
R&D, they call it.
That's
R&D.
right. You got to know how many patches you can take, man. I got 1, 1, 1, and 1 on either of the feet, too, man. 4 at a time, dude.
Those are hardcore.
That's right, dude. Extra stoned. So I got this article, and I was going to ask
That's
you.
what Chad does when he goes out to breakfast.
That's just an everyday thing. You guys finally launched your second edition of your cannabis premiere or primer, the cannabis and the thing that you guys put out about quarterly, I guess.
Yeah, we aim for quarterly. We're busy, so it's kind of turned into
Are
semi-annual.
those highlighter marks you've got
These
in
are
there?
highlighter
Did
marks.
you highlight this thing up?
Something.
Doing your research.
He kind of offended me because the title of the thing was "The Bud Tender is Not a Doctor," and I'm like, "Fuck that, dude! You know how many people I've helped?" No.
I mean, you read my article. You know where we're coming from on it.
I know
Ultimately,
exactly where you're coming from. It's a great. He says right here, it's still an unconventional and doesn't fit nearly into the take one pill twice a day model, which Westerners are accustomed to. And it's kind of hard when you're trying to diagnose or help someone as a bud tender. And I love the approach that you had in it.
Absolutely. And I think it's something that, there's lots of wonderful bud tenders. I mean, you're bud tender at the stars, and you know your shit.
I better know my shit.
But, we know in dispensaries, there's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of new bud tenders that have the best intentions.
Yep.
But really, if you're facing a serious medical condition, you need to also talk to your doctor.
Yeah, they're not doctors.
Yeah.
Approach it holistically. Cannabis is absolutely an important part of it, and you'll see in that cannabis and cancer one. We talk to Bonnie Goldstein, a lot of medical professionals, and really the consensus is use cannabis along with the other medications. Don't just go in and say, someone told me that CBD is going to cure my cancer. Screw the doctor. I'm just going to load up on CBD.
Yeah.
That's
dude.
how people die.
Screw
and that's
chemo,
a big
dude. I'm not
going to
do chemo, dude. I'm just.
So until the research is there, listen to your doctor, please. Use cannabis along with your doctor. Talk to them about it.
Yep.
But don't just decide that you're just going to ignore your doctor's advice.
I agree.
That's what we're
Cannabis
trying to
is
say.
definitely an industry that you need to do your research on. Like, if there's the epitome of one that you need to, if you're going to do that and try to tackle an ailment, like, I've always found it kind of sadly hilarious to have people come in and be like, dude, I got migraines, dude, what do you recommend? Like, dude, do your research. I can try to point you in the right directions, you know what I mean? Definitely not a doctor,
Absolutely.
I think we can make a soundbite out of Chad Drew just saying cannabis is an industry where you need to do your research. Like, that could be used against you, probably.
Do your research. No. Yeah.
And definitely, there's nothing wrong with experimenting and trying out stuff and seeing, what your bud tender recommends. And you likely know what's going to work for you and a lot of people. And for something like that, that's great.
Right.
But if it's a life-threatening disease,
Right.
I'm sorry, but you need to talk to your doctor.
Yeah, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, I self-medicate all the time for injuries and headaches and stuff like that. I think that's a different situation.
Totally, dude. I mean, I've seen the cannabis help. It's a night and day difference when you're going through chemo with the weed as opposed to without it. It's a full on night and day. Can't keep things down as opposed to being able to eat and nutrate yourself. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
Miracle plant, gotta love it.
And
right?
I mean, there's huge potential, and I think we've seen a lot of research. I mean, Harvard's put out studies. There's a lot of studies that cannabis can cause cell death or cancer cell death.
Right.
So there's a lot of potential there.
But what would you say to the people that say it's bullshit?
What would
Look
you
at the
say?
studies. The data is there. I'm so frustrated when people say that the data is not there.
Yeah.
We've been held back in the United States. Look at Israel. Look at other countries that have been doing this research for decades. The
Right.
data is there.
Right.
Go find it.
Yep.
I'll point you towards it.
Totally.
Come holler at me.
I know where to go. Right. For sure. I totally agree. And hopefully, with all of this political bullshit, we'll figure out, regardless of which way this company or this country decides to like implode itself anyway.
Well, what about somebody that's morally opposed to it, or is societally opposed to it because of their family or social connections? Like somebody that doesn't want to have to say that that's what they're doing, or even doesn't think that that's the right way to go, and thinks that it's maybe they're just hesitant.
I can't remember who said it recently, but I want to say it was Tim Cullen. He said basically there's a 6 degrees of separation going on with cannabis, that regardless of how far left or right you are, regardless, you're going to know someone within 6 degrees that their life will get impacted by cannabis, and it'll completely change your mind.
I totally agree, and I've seen that. And I
Sounds
think
like
there's
a
a
Tim
lot of
Cullen
people
quote.
that used to be anti. You start to talk to them, they say, well, my brother's grandma actually used it, and she had really good results, and now... So that's how it's happening. I also always say it's ultimately going to be the kids and the vets, those stories, those videos of... I mean, you can kind of blow off me if I'm saying, oh, I want some cannabis for my migraines, whatever. I'll be fine.
Right.
But when you see those videos of kids having their seizures stopped,
right,
or veterans suffering with PTSD and being able to turn their lives around, those are the stories. Nobody should suffer, but nobody can stand by and let kids and veterans suffer.
Totally.
So I really think that's going to be a big part of changing that paradigm.
Totally. I fully agree. Preach
it,
brother.
Graham. Preach
Hell
it.
yeah, dude. Fucking preach it, dude.
See, all the Grahams are intelligent. We established that the name Graham is synonymous with intelligent people.
Totally agree. So, protein powders, burnout, anything else that's going to be coming in the rest of 2016?
So I know Allie was here last time, and you guys checked out our new distillate, which
awesome.
we first rolled out in just CBD, and we've got a couple of new versions and cannabinoid offerings coming out soon. So we'll have to stop by and get you some samples as soon as those hit the market.
Very cool. Very exciting.
Right. Where can we keep up online?
So marysmedicinals.com, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that at Mary's Medicinals. And then, of course, our CBD line, Mary's Nutritionals, same thing at Mary's Nutritionals, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that crap.
All right.
Real quick, what's it like to work for Trevor and Nicole? Because they're awesome.
Best job in the world, no question.
Without a doubt. Fighting the
Didn't
fight.
know a job this cool existed 5 years ago.
Fighting the fight. That's right.
All right.
You
Graham
wanna
from
stick
Mary's
around for top
Medicinals.
5?
I can hang out for a few.
Hell yeah.
Love to.
All right. Top 5. We'll be right back.
Mary's Medicinals. To us, it's simply black and white. They've got this cannabis thing down to a science. Best known as the developer and exclusive distributor of the award-winning transdermal cannabis patch, Mary's Medicinals creates cannabis-based products including transdermal gels, topical compounds, and high bioavailability capsules. As part of its commitment to advancing the science around cannabis, Mary's has introduced Mary's Journal, the first mobile app designed to help patients track and balance the use of cannabis medicine. It's revolutionary. You can get your Mary's Medicinals at Evergreen Apothecary or go to marysmedicinals.com to find a dispensary near you.
Mary's Journal. If you're going to take care of anybody that needs this medication, or you need this medication yourself, you need to download it. It'll give you different times that you can schedule for your medication. It's a fully integrated app that tracks your results.
This is Chloe. Check out Screaming for Silence's new music video, The King is Crowned, only on World Viral TV.
Motel Minute. Motel Minute. Hi, Mom, I love you. World Viral.